Also, with broadly reflecting on opportunities, challenges faced by our volunteers in the OIC region, with a view to finding common ground on how to collectively address them in this training program. Our ICYF in training program is aiming also to enhance and deepen the youth engagement and youth institutions, volunteers, experts, and researchers to promote a global conversation about the role of volunteerism in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Also to drive or to learn lessons from the Young People Initiative to create change starting from their own communities. Also, we aim at sharing practices and solutions for social and personal development of our young people in a very increasingly uncertain world, especially with the challenges of the COVID-19. We also aim at this program to build the partnerships and renew our relations and commitments with youth and volunteers around the globe, including establishing a network or knowledge network for sharing information and good practices. Today, we have for you a very distinguished and a unique young scholar, expert, and a model volunteer, Dr. Shadi Fouad Khawandana. I always have a problem to pronounce your name. Such a beautiful name, but it's a mashallah, very unique name, to deliver his training on the impact of volunteerism. I wanted to read the bio of Dr. Shadi for you, young people, just for you to know how much a young person can achieve in a very young age. Dr. Shadi holds bachelor degree in electrical engineering from King Fahd University for Petroleum and Minerals, Masters of Business Administration from Arab Academy of Science and Technology, and Doctorate of Business Administration from the EU Business School in Geneva. Dr. Shadi also started up 12 successful companies in ME and Europe, in the Middle East and Europe. His background includes corporate social responsibility. That's how we came to get to know about him. Knowledge volunteering, business innovation, organizational leadership, entrepreneurship, and strategic management. He is approved and accredited business consultant by the Saudi Ministry of Commerce and Industry at this age. He's also certified in strategic management from Harvard Business School. Dr. Shadi also is the chairman of the board of Special Direction Business Consultancy House. Also, he is a steering committee member at the Middle East Partnership Initiative, MEPI, in the State Department, and board advisor at the Saudi National Creative Initiative, SNCI. In addition, he is a board member at the International Chamber of Commerce, Saudi Arabia, president of the Youth Committee, and president of the Corporate Responsibility Committee. There's so many things to come. Actually, I'm reading for you only 10% of his CV. As well, Dr. Shadi is a member of the National Committee for Entrepreneurship and member of an executive board at the Council of Saudi Chambers. He is an independent consultant on the Council of Saudi Chambers. He is a member of the International Relations Committee, Consulting Offices Committee, and Entrepreneurship Committee in Jeddah Chamber of Commerce. Now, some of the major and the big prizes and he was awarded. Dr. Shadi received the Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Award for Young Business Leaders in 2003, Prince Abdulaziz bin Abdullah International Award for Entrepreneurship in 2013, as well as being selected by Forbes ME Middle East for 2 consecutive years, 2013 and 14, as one of the top leaders inspiring kingdom in the business world. Along with that, He was selected by the General Motors as one of the top 15 inspirational business leaders across the region in 2015. He has been selected by the US Department of State to represent the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in IVLP 2015, and also he was honored by the former president of Swiss with the European University Award for Corporate Social Responsibility in 2016. In addition, he was honored by the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz, with King Khalid Award of Responsible Competitiveness for the 3 consecutive years, 2015, 2016, and 2017. It is actually very long bio, not looking at his CV. But what I wanted to say here is we're having a very practical expert who has hands-on on many issues that he is able to share his experiences. He is part of so many projects. He has been doing a lot with youth and for youth, has been doing a lot of traveling with his team, special directions. I met his team personally with I had a meeting also with the president of ICYF. We were impressed by the amount of activities and achievements these young people have done. And today we are very honored to have Dr. Shadi to share with us his great experiences. We wanted a very live experience. And when we had a discussion with him before this, he said, I don't want it to be just a presentation. I wanted to share experience. I want to hear from the young people. So, dear participants, 3-4 rules only for you before we start. Number 1, please keep your mics mute. So all of us, we will be having a focus on the presentation. Please also raise your hand because we will take by order your contribution. In case you have any technical problem, our team is at your service. Send us a message at the board and we will be looking at your problem, and we can also take your questions from the general chat. Saying that, I will leave the virtual floor to our beloved Dr. Shadi. Please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Happy Eid to everyone. Thank you very much, Dr. Fadila. I'm very glad to be participating in this great initiative. And thanks a lot for ICYF for connecting people, developing the youth, and engaging the youth together from the Islamic world so we can learn from each other. I'm gonna share the presentation with you. It's gonna be talking about the impact of volunteering work. And today we're gonna be looking at the volunteers themselves, not at the community, not at the companies, if we're talking corporate social responsibilities, not at the government. Yet we will be passing through all the factors, but we'll be focusing on the volunteers themselves. So let me start the presentation with the agenda. Looking at the volunteers. I think now it's on. So we'll be talking about the benefits of volunteering, and we'll be focusing on the unexpected benefits of volunteering. Then we will be talking about the continuous education and how to measure the impact of volunteering. Then we will be discussing the volunteering in emergencies like COVID-19 and others. And we're going to be concluding the talk with sustainable volunteering. What is it and how we can conduct it, and is it real or it's just a nice slogan that we are talking about today? Benefits of volunteering. I'm gonna start with the most valuable things to the volunteers. It ends loneliness, and this is a reality, this is a fact. Today, when we have our work, when we have our studies, when we have our contribution within the family work, within connecting with others, we are still lonely. We feel connected when we really add value to anything around us, to the environment, to people, to family, to ourselves. So at that time, when we create this happiness, when we create this smile, here we are getting out of ourselves. Here we are getting connected to others. And here we are developing this virtual network, this emotional network. And we reach to a level where we talk about emotional sustainability or emotional stability, in fact. And this cannot be developed unless we are internally happy, we are internally adding value. Also, it increases socializing, because with volunteering work, what happens actually, you connect with different people, you connect with different communities, you work with government, you work with corporate social responsibilities and different organizations. You work with the people who are really in need to your work. You see these results. And by the end of the project, by the end of a certain activity, you create this socializing impact. You are like the first one who will benefit from this work. It creates friends. I'm using some photos in this presentation. They're all belonging to the activities that we have done in a special direction. This activity was in Bonn, the capital of sustainable development, the old capital of Germany. They have the United Nations for System Staff College there, and they do a great academy every year. It's called Summer Academy or UN Summer Academy. It focuses on sustainable development. This is like one of the programs that we have participated with them. We get 30 people from our region, and previously they had 0 people from our region, but with partnerships and connections and volunteering, we get to know the people outside and how we can develop this knowledge and how we can connect. So we had this program. It's a 5 days program. Every year it happens in August, not this year. I think they're gonna do it virtually because of the COVID-19. But every year they do it in their premises. They get everybody from all over to talk about social responsibility, volunteering, sustainable development, and how we can all build societies together and share experiences. So there, we have created a lot of friends. We have participated for 3 years now, and the people who came to this academy, they're plus or minus 100 to 150 participants coming from more than 90 different countries. So you can like connect with these guys while you're volunteering and sharing knowledge to get to know what's happening, to get updated on different situations. But the most important thing is to create friends everywhere. And this is not a regular or a normal friendship, because when you work with people in different missions, you build the bond. You see them under stress. You see them acting and reacting. You see what's like very positive for you to get working with others, and what is the area of development where you need to develop yourself, and accordingly you develop others. So you build the bond. And it leads to graceful aging. Believe me, if you are volunteering, you are young. How old are you? 80 years old? That's not really old. Oh, you're volunteering? No, you are young. You're 90 years old. Okay, and you're volunteering? Believe me, if you keep volunteering, you are young. You are creating this great smile on everybody's faces. It improves also the school and college experience if we're having a student A and a student B going to the same school, having the same major, studying hard, but when, let's say, student A is having a volunteering background, volunteering experience, he's active or she's active, doing different activities with the society, with the school, with the environment, in the house, any activities that is really adding value, that is really making a difference, that is really filling a gap, and not waiting for a return, this student A, is doing much better in the school. I'll not say grades, Grace is the last thing we think about. It's doing better in terms of getting the knowledge, seeing the horizon, thinking big, and developing the future accordingly. It provides better job prospects in the future. And definitely, when we go with a CV, having some volunteering activities to different organizations, and they see what we have done to others and to the country and to our hometowns, and what kind of differences we have created, they will look at our CVs in a different way. They will ask us different questions in the interview. We will be answering in a different way because we have the background. So this is a key thing for the volunteer. We don't volunteer today because we want a better job tomorrow. We don't do that. We do volunteer because it's ethical. It's a must. It's important. It's us. It's people. That's why we do volunteer. But at the same time, we should know that volunteering, yes, it is for others. Yes, it is for community. But believe me, it's for us. It starts from us. If we don't really benefit internally from volunteering, nobody else will benefit out there. Because this happiness, this energy, this motivation, it starts from us. And definitely volunteering, it adds a lot of fun to your life. And when we talk about continuous education, if you volunteer, you are in a great school. I will not name 1 or 2 or 10 of the key universities and colleges all over the world, the ranked colleges. No, believe me, when you volunteer, you are in the best university, you are in the best school of the world. You are in the reality, not in the theory. You are doing it. You are doing it wrong, you're learning. You are doing it right, you're improving. Volunteering is the biggest school, is the biggest school. So it's self-exploration. You explore yourself, you develop your skills, you have access to knowledge that you don't have it in the school. It's different. You have access to training programs, especially when you volunteer with organizations like international organizations, key companies when they have their corporate social responsibility programs, government, they're gonna develop you. And this is like a systematic development. But when I talked about the access to knowledge, it's not a systematic approach in terms of getting knowledge. It's a life horizon of getting knowledge. But when we talk about training programs, it is a systematic approach where people can develop their skills. It creates new connections every day. I don't talk about connections only people or decision makers or government. No, you're gonna have connections to a lot of things. You're gonna have connections to communities. You're gonna have connections to needy people. You're gonna have connections to knowledge. You're gonna have connections to think tanks. You're gonna have connections to the world. You're gonna be knowing what's happening. You're gonna be updated because you are on ground. You are there. You are doing it. And it is sustainable. And this is something very important. If you volunteer, don't worry about your education. Do your schools, do your job, do all your tasks in life, and volunteer. Keep volunteering. This volunteering, it is development, it is training, it is sustainable education for you. It will never stop unless you stop volunteering. We agreed in the first slide, you are young if you are volunteer. I think the ladies will love that. I love it too, by the way. And the knowledge and education is sustainable if you volunteer, if you continue volunteering. Now we talk about the measurement, how to measure the impact. Okay, perfect. I love volunteering. I'm volunteering. I'm adding value. Everybody is happy. But am I on the right track? Am I really doing something helpful to the society? Am I repeating somebody else? Is it unique? What exactly I'm doing? How can I know? It's not difficult. It's not difficult because, again, in volunteering, there is an issue that we want to contribute. There is a problem that we want to partially solve and having sustainable solutions to it. So we can assess the situation. Is it improving or is it getting like worse? If it is improving, like what is the ratio of improvement? And if we can have future sessions, we can talk about the exact factors on how we can create this measurements and to apply it in real practices. But in general, we can assess any situation if this situation is improving and by how much percentage of the improvement. Again, we can go to a better or a next level and talk about the solved problems. We came in to volunteer because we are having an issue. Now, do we still have the issue? Yes or no? How did we solve it? The mechanism, the programs, the initiatives, is it sustainable? Yes or no? Can we make it sustainable? How we can make it sustainable? Can we build partnerships? Can we bring more people? Can we think out of the box? So we can assess the situation. We can see if the problem solved or not. Then we can we can measure the return on investment. Investment here doesn't mean money. Yes, money is a factor sometimes, but number of volunteers, number of hours that we have volunteered, the efforts we have put, the connections we have brought, the partnership we have developed, like we can measure the return on investment in different factors, not only in dollar sign or in money sign. And the sustainability, which is again is a very important factor in everything we do today. We have solved a problem, but is it a sustainable solution to it, or this problem will come again once we move back? And this is something we usually need to think about. There are some systematic approaches also to make sure where are we in terms of the impact. Target audience satisfaction survey. We can go to the community or the targeted beneficiary of these programs or this initiative or this work, and we can see. We can develop our scheme based on the reality, and we see before and after, and then we see the percentages, and we can do our comparative analysis, and we see where we did well and where we need to develop more and what went wrong. Again, today we're talking about volunteers. So volunteer experience satisfaction survey is as important as the target audience satisfaction survey. We need to, we have to, it's important to go to the volunteers to share this survey with them. They have to fill it while they're very comfortable to tell us their experience on the situation, their experience that they have developed, what they are seeing. By the way, when we do volunteering work in every different organization, government, community, or corporate social responsibility with private sector, the best people who are getting the key solutions for our issues, the volunteers, because they are the people or the ones who are really working on ground, getting their hands dirty, and they see it, they know it, they measure it, they feel it, they talk about it, they hear it. So they are the think tank that we bank on. So definitely we need to measure the impact also through their eyes, which is very important. And the number of partnerships, the kind of partnerships, local or international, government or private sector, NGO, or what kind of partnerships we have, what kind of partnership we can capitalize on for future, for similar cases that we can see in the soon or far future. Volunteering in emergency. I think this is like the key slide for today because of what we have, because of what we are having these days, the COVID-19. Safety comes first. Don't start with others. Please, 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 when you volunteer in crisis, apply the disaster management rules. Start with yourself. Safety comes first. This is something very important. I will not go to a details like, okay, I want to go to the street today and I want to help the people and I want to do this and that, but I don't have a mask. I will not go to that basic, but again, safety comes first. Train yourself, develop yourself at the same time when you work with these programs. UNV, for example, ICYF, Red Crescent and Red Crescent, different organizations, they will help you. They will develop your skill. They will train you, especially in crisis. It's not about like you're getting ready and you go to work. No, you need to, first of all, make sure that you are really ready to start. We have 3 steps. 1, safety, safety, safety. 2, training and development. 3, the plan. What exactly will happen? What if the plan B and the contingency plans? And after that, we can say, yes, now we are ready. Tasks are distributed. We are developed. We took all the safety considerations and we are ready to work. Here, I will say specialization is important. If I'm a doctor in medicine and there is a gap in medicine and there is a gap in engineering, I don't go to engineering. Use your specialty. It's very important. That doesn't say that we don't volunteer in other areas. That doesn't say that I'm interested in other areas than my specialty. But in crisis, very important to allocate resources in a very smart way. So we start usually with a specialization. And after that, we can go to our think tank and our talents tank, and we see where, what, and who can fit in different activities. Integration and safe access to resources. We integrate together, we work together, maybe in different programs at the same place, or maybe in different shifts, or maybe doing the same task from different angles. So we all work together. That has to be very clear. Yes, in the first days, you will have a lot of issues, especially in crisis. In crisis, you deal with things that is not normal to you, that you were not really developed or trained to deal with it. But after like a couple of days, things will be clear or clearer. So you can adapt along with the team, along with the group, and having safe access to resources, not only access to resources, it has to be safe, whether it's technology, whether it's getting or selecting the right volunteers in different teams. You have to apply again all the safety measures. Psychological support all the time. All the time we will need this. Psychological support during crisis is a must, before, during, and even after, because we see things that we are not used to. We deal with things, we deal with changes, we deal with rapid changes that we are not used to. So we will need to support each other. This is important. And we need also to have some experts if the projects are big and the involvement is very deep. Definitely, we have to have insurance. Health insurance here is the basic. Sometimes we need more like advanced insurances, depending on the situation, on the areas we are working on. And this is also not to be neglected at all. Sustainable volunteering. We did this program, if you can see the photo attached to the slide. This program was in South Africa, in the southeast point of South Africa. It's like an area, a suburb after Port Elizabeth at the south of South Africa. We went to one of the reserves, and we were working towards the not community alone, actually environment and community, and working with other people coming from different countries. Direction team came from Saudi Arabia, and they had volunteers from like another 15 countries, and we were developing different activities to help the youth, to provide education to the children, to work with the environment in so many different areas, and how we can build sustainable projects. Like, we will not be living there forever. We will not be coming in different shifts or durations from different countries to work only in this project. So this project we're gonna build today, it has to be sustainable. It has to continue by itself. You can think of everything possible in the environment using, again, your partnership and connections that you have developed during your previous programs, volunteering programs, corporate social responsibility programs. You bring everybody together, you put the right plan, and you execute. Again, get your hands dirty. You need to work with everybody. We need all to work together. Yes, there is a leader. Yes, there is a member. Yes, there is different people doing different stuff. But when it comes to work, when it comes to tasks, we are all committed to delivering on ground. So number one is ethics. We're all one. We're all human. We work together. We work toward the community, the environment, the development, the social impact. Number two, filling a gap. Don't do something not important. Don't repeat others. Don't repeat yourself. Please, you have to fill in a gap, which is very important. We have a lot of problems everywhere. We have a lot of issues everywhere. We have the orphans, we have the poor people, we have people who doesn't have access to education. We have people who doesn't have access to knowledge. We have people who doesn't have access to clean water. We have problem with the environment. We have problem with a lot of issues. If we talk about the 17 elements or the SDGs, we're gonna like discuss this forever, because it's everything, and in every factor you're gonna have a lot of challenges on how we can work together internationally, globally, to solve the issues or the common issues or the most crucial issues. So why we repeat ourselves? I see this in so many countries, actually, in the Islamic world. If XYZ is doing project to solve this problem, you see everybody coming to participate and share and repeat and copy this volunteering work. Why? We're having a lot of issues. Yes, we need to connect. Yes, we need to get the knowledge. Yes, we need to join forces. Yes, we need to capitalize on the experiences, but we don't have to copy. We don't have to repeat. Please be unique. Please do the more valuable work that will create happiness, solve problems, and satisfy everybody, the needy people, the environment, the community, and yourself. Education and knowledge transfer is very important. Today, you learn something, please pass it to me. I don't have to volunteer 6 months to learn the skill. If you can pass it to me, or you can take me with you to work with you 5 days on ground to transfer this practical knowledge, it will be something great. This is the best volunteering, by the way, you do. Knowledge volunteering. You transfer knowledge, the asset of the world, knowledge. It's very important. One of the key elements that all the organizations and the groups have to apply, promoting the active volunteers. Volunteer A did great. Volunteer B did well. Volunteer C is not very motivated. So we need to get them all together. We learn from each other. We talk about the impact that was created by the work, by volunteer A and B, and C, and how C can really do better to create better value and to learn from different experiences. We need to motivate everybody, and we need to promote the active volunteers by promoting the actual values and results and outputs, which is very important. Yes, we are recognizing the key volunteers, but at the same time, our focus is not the volunteers, it's the work, it's the impact, it's the results, it's the output, which is we came and we connect and we gathered to really apply and do in the real world. And after that, you measure the impact, which is again very important by the factor that I have explained earlier, because if you measure the impact, you will know your next steps. Will you develop like new mechanism for the same project? Will it pass the project and hand it over to others to like keep volunteering till it is sustainable and you go do something different? Are you doing it like in the best way? Are you getting knowledge from your partners and partnerships that you have created so you can do it or make sure you are doing it in the best way, like low cost, less number of hours, high impact, or like you're doing it just because we want to volunteer, we are young, we have energy, we have time. It's different schools. But to have the key results for yourself initially, and to the people, to the environment, and to everybody out there, you have to have a real impact. Impact is the most important thing when we talk about the job, when we talk about the volunteering work, when we talk about the execution of the programs and initiatives, when we talk about our time, when we talk about our years, when we talk about all these people who are coming from all over to add value. If there is no value, if there is no impact, then we are wasting our time. Volunteering is not a waste. Volunteering is a plus. Volunteering is life. Thank you very much. I really appreciate having with you, and I'm ready for all the questions to learn from you.
Okay. Actually, I can't say much after what you have shared with us today. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Shadi, for your extraordinary, lively, relevant, and practical presentation. I would like to recap some of what I learned from you today myself on the educational part of the volunteerism. You said such a wonderful lessons that I wanted to keep with me, and I want to recap for our participants to keep with them. It's for the personal growth, really that the development, the continuous personal development of the person that continue to be with us as far as we continue to volunteer. And then you spoke about the systematic development that volunteerism offer us. It's the best school. It's school of life. That's actually extremely important for the volunteers to know. You also spoke about the connections, the friendships, the relationships, institutional and personal, how people can develop personal relations during the volunteerism. And then also the sustainable development, the sustainable education, because what we get in school is nothing like what you just shared in life experiences that we get to know and to learn more during experience. And also it's very important and wonderful that you brought in the issue of the added value and the impact. And that's how will bring us to the measurement, measuring our own efforts and measuring our institutional efforts and the impact on the people. Because in the end of the day, the volunteer is to solve a problem, if to bring an added value and to solve an issue that is existing there. And that's easy to find out scientifically now. It's very easy to find out if we have an impact. Also, you spoke about that a volunteer should go and solve a problem, and you should not be repeating something. You should be having a unique contribution that is yours to solve a problem, to fill a gap. Don't go and just do something that others are doing. This is very important for our young people. You also shed light on the volunteerism during emergencies, and you touch on the crucial concerns and challenges faced by volunteers, especially in the OIC region, issues related to safety, which is taken very easy by so many volunteers. And we really highly appreciate those highlights. I also am sure today our volunteers get to know an expert on volunteerism, that he has a lot more to give than what he shared with you today, because of the time we limited him in a very short time. But on life, you are to be meeting with him in life, maybe in your respective countries, when you invite each other to share projects and share some of those solutions that he proposed for you today. And by saying that, I would like again to thank you, Dr. Shadi, for your wonderful presentation and the conclusions and the recommendations you made for our young people. It's really a lively, very rich learning session for all of us today. And I would like now to take questions from our audience. So please, if you have a question, you raise your hand. And I would like the team of ICYF to help me to make sure that I am not missing anyone. So people, participants. Okay. Dr. Shadi, I will start with one question, just to not keep you waiting until we get the questions from the audience. I would like to ask you a personal question first. What led you to volunteerism in a very young age? And how is social media helping you to become a broader and a global volunteer? Please share this question, this answer, until we get to get our participants to give live participation. Please go ahead.
Thanks again for having me, and I appreciate all the comments that are written here by the participants. Actually, I started at a very early age. Here, I live in Jeddah actually, and living in Jeddah 70 kilometers from Mecca will connect you to pilgrimage and Hajj. And that is something very normal in my city, because we have the main airport, the international airport here in Saudi, where we welcome all the pilgrims in Jeddah to go to Medina and Mecca. So in my region or in my city, it's the normal thing, you start at a very early age. And it was really enhanced and supported by my family, especially my father and mother. Because they really taught me a lot in terms of volunteering and doing things to the society and not waiting for a return. But I want to say something important that I have experienced in my life. The first work, the first professional work, a paid work I did in my life, was through a connection with a person I met in Hajj. And I was explaining some of our projects and what we are doing. And I was just in the school, in the intermediate school. And that guy, he's one of the key businessmen in the region. And he came what? Now my son is in the beach and I'm in Mecca doing Umrah, and you are coming here from Jeddah to talk about knowledge sharing at this age. And it started from here. And this is not only one example. If you ask 1 million people, they will tell you 3 million stories, because we have these stories every day. We connect with other people. And it is very important when you meet people in reality, because when it's a professional work, it is a professional work. Yes, we're doing it with quality, with honesty, with ihsan, but we are paid. So the ethical value is there, but it is a paid job. It's different. But when you do things and you seek ajr from Allah, and you build this inside your heart is totally different. You ask about social media. Actually, it is important. We have done a lot of programs, especially during this period for the past 3 months, online and virtual, by having the accessibility to our network and the social media. When I say we, by the way, I mean the Direction group, because we have this group of different volunteers coming from different countries in the Islamic world, and we do different projects. So we used to travel every month to do exchange programs and learn different stuff and share also culture with others. But during the past 3 months, definitely we have stopped our traveling. So we're using the social network heavily to continue doing what we used to do, but these days virtually. And this is about adaptation with the crisis.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shadi. And please allow me to give the floor to Mr. Ahmed Sobhi from Egypt. Please come on board and ask your question.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Shadi, for your wonderful presentation. My question is, could you talk more about the Special Direction Academy and how could we apply for this exchange and this experience?
Perfect. Special Direction is a business consultancy house, but we are very active in terms of corporate social responsibility. We have a program called Direction, Knowledge and Knowledge Exchange Program, where we get the youth from all over the Islamic and Arab world, and we focus on different issues. Every program is totally unique and different. We have discussed, for example, sustainability in Sweden. We have talked about education in Finland. We talked about volunteering in natural reserves in South Africa. We did volunteering with Red Cross, Red Crescent in Geneva. We did actual volunteering program for the refugees in Lebanon. We did a program to learn about different religions and to promote respect in different countries. So we have these programs up and running. I think we're gonna, inshallah, go back soon after this crisis, this pandemic. You can have a full knowledge about our programs, and you can apply actually once we have open programs online. I'm gonna share now the website, and also I'm gonna share my personal contacts. Please, all of you guys, brothers and sisters, feel free to contact me. And this is actually one of the key outputs of such a great initiative by ICYF today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shadi. Actually, we in the chats with everyone, we shared information about special directions for our viewers. Some asked me a question: "Who are you?" I am Dr. Fadila Green, and I am advisor at ICYF. Sorry, I didn't introduce myself at the beginning. I want to give the floor now to Karim Kabari from Qatar, Egyptian. Yes, go ahead, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you, Doctor, for this comprehensive and to the point presentation. When we were talking about the volunteer sustainability, and we need to guarantee the rights, in all cases, we have great potentials of volunteers, but what makes projects is better than another, that sometimes it's a mismanagement for the volunteers. So I think that one of the rights for the volunteers is to be exposed to all the roles and all the tasks and all the fields of the volunteerism. So maybe we have a volunteer who is doing good, but if we assign him to a different role, he will be doing amazing. And maybe some volunteer is doing a very poor job, but if you assign him to a different job, he will be doing great. And instead of excluding them, or instead of just giving him the very minor tasks, we need to expose all the volunteers to be rotated to all different roles and different tasks in the volunteer process, so they can gain the knowledge that, as you mentioned, that can help them in their professional life. And on the other hand, can benefit the volunteering process to know which one is the best for which position.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's very important actually to like utilize the talents in the best way. Today, if you are having a project, for example, in Kenya, and you don't speak the language, and you are a lawyer, and your colleague, your peer volunteer is speaking the language and having master in translations, and she or he cook food very well, and you went to together, you went to Kenya to do the project. It's very bad to ask you to do the food and to ask you to connect with the people. You don't speak the language and you don't have maybe the interest of cooking, or maybe you're not the expert. And at the same time, you're having somebody who's good at this. So utilizing the resources is important. And if we don't have the resources, yes, we can capitalize on what we have. But having a wrong model in the organization or the institution not to utilize the resources is really bad for them initially, because at the same at this time, what's happening is they're gonna be repeating a lot of stuff till they reach to the steady knowledge. At the same time, where they have the knowledge ready, but within the head of somebody else. I see this a lot, unfortunately, in our region. It is developing. I think today we have learned a lot. I think this 3 months or 4 months, the knowledge that was added to the volunteering world is like more than the past 5 years. And now we are talking about models, procedures, identifications, measures, where before that, let's volunteer, it's ajr. So we're good when we volunteer. But today, even today, even in a very like not or in like poor areas, if you go to volunteer today, the people who are not educated, who are not volunteer, who didn't volunteer before, they will not even allow you in unless you are taking the
Interview
safety
them.
measures. Because now they are seeing it. Now today they are feeling it. Today it is real. It's not something nice to have. No, it's people. Sorry to say that people will die if they don't really take this into consideration. So I think we are developing. I hope we develop without a crisis, but sometimes crisis also has some positive points to learn from.
Thank you, Dr. Shadi. You have also a question from Isnera Salem from Philippines. Please, the floor is yours.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
Alaikum
Salam. Thank you for that very insightful presentation. I've noticed that when you talk about the impact of volunteerism at work, most of the things that mentioned were all positive. So just to give a balanced view about the impact of volunteerism, because a lot of times when a person is very new to volunteerism, they can be exposed to new environment. And it can happen that it could have like psychological impact to the person. Like some people even can have trauma from these experiences. So personally, I would like to ask you, from based on your experiences, how did you manage the emotional impact of volunteerism on the negative side, not on the positive side? Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a very important question, and yes, the presentation was focusing on positivities more than on the other side, because I think with the COVID we had enough news and enough stories, so we tried like to be out of this like scheme. But I thank you very much for this great question. Usually in volunteering, in activities, you face what you face in real life. Like you are good in something, you're doing it well, you're helping, you're adding value. Your colleague is good, is doing something, but he or she is seeing you doing better. He or she will think why the organization or the community is focusing on this person or that person. I can do better, or I can beat him or her. And actually, I don't believe in competitiveness in volunteering. I believe in integration of volunteering. Yet competitiveness is important and good, but it's not in my school. So I look usually at the integration. So they try sometimes, and you see this everywhere. This is reality. They try sometimes to like make some traps for you, or talking in a bad way during the peers or the supervisors. And it happens, and you are there leaving your family, doing efforts. You don't want anything from anybody. You are just doing this because you believe in helping others, and you believe in an ajr, and this is your values and ethics. And you come back home, you're having your normal life, your issues, and you wake up next day and you go to this project again, and you face the same issue, and maybe this issue will get like bigger every day. And what is next? Like, what? I'm not getting anything as financial, for example, outcome of this. And at the same time, I'm getting like blamed for stuff that I didn't do. Here we're talking about your inner soul. Here we're gonna be talking about how you yourself be patient, and you start with yourself. You start with the value that you are doing. Believe me, it will. The positivity will come back to you. Maybe it will not come back in the same project, but it will come back to you. It's a full story, and the end of the story is very beautiful. But during the story, during the journey, we're having a lot of issues. Sometimes we're lucky to have somebody who can support us, but believe me, this is not the case. I didn't see it, but people talk about supporters, but I didn't see it. But I think we are the best supporters for ourselves. We need to support ourselves by the thing that we believe it is good for us. You know what's make you happy. You know what's make you feeling better. You know what's make you like engage more. So you are the best supporter for yourself. I don't have a magical recipe for this, but believe me, when you do it from your inner soul, it will work over time. It will not happen quickly, but it will work over time.
Thank you very much. This next intervention is by Yaya Dama from Burkina Faso. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. I think that the presentation was really interesting, and I'm very proud to be here. So my question joined the previous one. It was to ask you to talk a little bit about the values of a volunteer, because you were talking about the positive aspect of your experiences in volunteerism. I did not hear a lot about the difficulties of volunteerism, but I have already received some of my expectations. But now my last question is to know, for example, how we can do a kind of capitalization of our experiences of volunteering to boost, for example, our professional career. As you are now a doctor and working in the professional side, yes.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you for the question. I will talk about the first part of your question first. Actually, in volunteering, we have a lot of challenges. But again and again, during this period, I think we're overcoming the key challenges that we used to face during the past years. I think the whole environment, the whole communities are developing today. So we are not the same people who will be today. We're not the same people that we will be in 2021. We're gonna be different in everything, and volunteering is one of these things. So I will just go back to what I said earlier. I think this pandemic taught us a lot of things, especially for the social responsibility part and volunteering part. Especially in the key issues in these items, like the safety measures, for example. The second part of your question about the professional world, because I learned volunteering, or I was like born in a volunteering environment. and I believe in it, and I have seen the results for myself and for others. I have built my organization to be like 75% in the field of social development and social creating social impact. We're having again a lot of challenges because how you can have access to fund, how you can develop the programs, how you can get the youth, how you can create a platform, all this stuff. But again, over time and with talking to different people and showing results, you will get hands. People will come and help you. They will not support you financially, most likely. I didn't get any financial support, but when you have the right brains around you, you can think of sustainable programs where you can have some income and you allocate this income to the projects, and these projects will continue and will grow, and you will move back and you will give it to the youth. They can run it and they can continue. For the professional world, again, the connections with the international world is very important. Today, if I want to, for example, to create a manual for volunteering and reserves, it will take me like 10 years. I'm not from the environment. I don't know it. It's very difficult. It's challenging. But when I talk to the right people and I build this connection and partnership with them, it will cost me 6 months just to go there and to learn and to send the right people and to bring the knowledge and come here and to transfer it to people, and we can continue. So I think they're very connected together. Why I'm saying connected? Because when you go to that level, government will be involved. Private sector will be involved. You will create jobs. You will start to solve problems that was not your target issues to solve. But again, because you're growing and thinking out of the box and join forces, this will help everybody around you, plus yourself. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. You did actually, and for me, I can't see any raising hands. Therefore, I'll start with the questions that I already got here. I have quite a few questions. Let me start with some at hand. Just give me a second. Some of the questions you already replied to, that's why I didn't want to repeat them. But it's good to go through all of them because we don't want to miss anybody and we want everyone to go home happy today. Especially this is our 15th session. People are at the end of it. They did a great job of learning and attending and participating. We want them to be all happy. So from Mr. Baba Panda from Senegal, he's thanking you very much and he's asking you about your structure and how we can get some of the awards. Looks like your awards are making our young people wanting to know how to get them. Would you like to start with that until I get you more questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for this question. Actually, I never worked for an award, and this is something very funny. We get this international award by the president, it's a Swiss president, Adolf Ogi. It's the EU award for social responsibility. And when I was called for this award, I was like, what? Isn't this like the #1 award in the world for the CSR? They said yes. And I was like, and did I win this? They said yes. And I was like, how do you know me? And then I knew what happened. And actually it's a big like structure, and they have selected 100 projects from 50 countries. And if when they told me the names of the companies that they were nominated for this award, I was like, no guys, you are like making fun of me. This is not real. But again, there are some awards, there are different awards, but I will talk in general. There are some awards that you don't have to do anything. They keep their eyes on the big projects, especially the exchange projects between different countries and transferring knowledge. They will come to you. So don't worry about that. And this is, by the way, very valuable award, because in reality, you do one thing. You get your suit and you go to get it. There is nothing to fill. There is nothing to write. There is nothing to do. They will send you the flight ticket. They'll book you a nice hotel, and you're gonna go to shake hands with the president and get the award and go back to your hometown. And your country will be proud of you. So this is like the easy and difficult part. The other kind of award, no, it is with applications. Sometimes it's open where people can apply. Sometimes you're gonna get like calls when you have some applications and practices. Like we are having the ranking of Forbes, and we want to visit you. We want to assess the businesses. So you need to do some work. If you are interested, if you are not interested, definitely you're gonna say thank you very much. I'm doing well. Maybe next year or the year after, I'll be with you. So the most important award for me, actually, personally, was King Khalid Award, because it is in the competitiveness, in the responsibility and responsible competitiveness. And this is very important for me in terms of developing Saudi Arabia, the youth, the work environment, creating more jobs and having more volunteers. We're having this Vision 2030 where we're trying to reach to 1 million volunteers by 2030 or before 2030 actually. So we're working with so many projects. This award is the most important one for me because I have received it from King Salman, Hafizahullah. So this is like an impact, a big impact where I have seen it in everybody's eyes from my network, from the youth in Saudi Arabia, because this award usually goes to big organizations. When I talk big organizations, they're big organizations, billions of dollars of investment. For me, like $1,000 of investment comparing to these guys, like you're talking about a very small, tiny fish in the ocean, like we don't exist. But again, sometimes you get things or you do things and you solve other problems, because the year after, so many people were inspired to be around and to participate and to add value and to connect with this award, to see where they can, like, again, not getting the award, but where they can add value to be recognized by the country or by the king or by the Islamic world or by the international world. And this is something like very motivating for everybody. About the structure, it's a very easy structure. We gather with the youth every month. We talk about different issues. We take these issues and we study them. Sometimes they talk about entrepreneurship or jobs. They talk about environment. They talk about social development. They talk about sustainable energy. So we take these ideas from their brains. We sit with our consultants. We see what are the most important ideas based on the surveys we collected from the youth. Let's say the number one topic is improving education and learning different international practices on education. So our consultants will study the market. They will decide on Finland, for example. They will say they have one of the best systems. We connect with our partners in Finland. We don't have a partner in Finland. We have a partner in Swiss. We talk with them. They connect us with their partners in Finland. We talk with them, government, NGOs, schools, and volunteering communities, the youth. We do this program, 1 week or 2 weeks program. We develop this program where you can have like a full-fledged knowledge of the education in Finland by participating in this activity. We develop this program. We go to our youth in the website. We put this program. This program will take place in January 2021. It will be like 2 weeks. You will not incur cost. We will pay for the cost, or you will pay 50%, or you will pay this and that, or we will pay this and that. It depends. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on our fund. It depends on the people. Some people, we sponsor them 100%. They are active. Again, we recognize volunteers by having them on board. We have the program. People come and apply. We have 20 seats. We get 1,000 applications. We start our interviews. We select the people. We make sure we have different majors, different specializations, guys and ladies, different ages. And in the interview also, we ask them like, what kind of contribution you're gonna do when we come back? like we are asking them a lot of questions, but the most important thing is the impact that they will create when we come back from the program. We select the 20 people based on the criteria that we have. They come with us, we go to this program. Per day, we have from 5 to 10 different activities per day, including the day of arrival and the day of traveling back home. When we come back, we do all the programs, activities, meeting with the people, seeing the practice, seeing the challenges, discussing the partnership. When we come back to our countries, because not all the people from Saudi Arabia, but most of them from Saudi Arabia, but we had people from 22 countries till now in our programs. When they go back to their countries, we follow up with them on the contribution they are creating through the knowledge they have earned. During the past 3 years, we have done 30 programs within direction and 10 programs for other organizations that asked us to develop exchange programs. It's very good. It's very unique. And at the same time, it's not only that we are getting the knowledge, actually the reflection of the Islamic world to the other countries. Like, wow, you are coming, you are leaving your work, you're leaving your school to come and to discuss knowledge in Finland and to learn sustainability in Sweden and to talk culture in XYZ countries and to talk about technology in Korea and to learn about quality in Japan. Like, this is very impressive. Like, no, this is normal. We are 30 for knowledge. We come to you, you come to us, we participate, we create this model. We are all human at the end of the day, and we capitalize on the experiences. Sorry for the long answer, but this is like the journey.
No, it was really great, and it was actually touching and very important, and it was actually meant to be long because it's something that people need to know, and it leads them, our young people, to do the right thing. And this is what this program and this training is meant to be. We wanted them to be in touch with the experts. We want them to hear first-hand information, first-hand knowledge. This is the platform for sharing, and thank you very much for sharing these valuable experiences. Maryam from Oman asking you about, should volunteerism be part of education, and how important that volunteerism should be part of the education curriculum. Also, Umnia Amfar from Morocco asking, how can we join the volunteering work or your exchange program you just mentioned right now? And I'll leave you with those 2 questions until I select more questions for you. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for these questions. Yes, it should be in the educational system, actually. And I started to see this in some countries in the Islamic world already. It is very important to start it from a very early age, so the kids can know what is volunteering and why it's important and how it will add value to them and how they will be like a positive participant in the community. So I support having the volunteerism as part of the educational system in our schools. I really support that. If not, please do it at home. Please talk with your kids, with your young sisters and brothers. Again, school is not always a school. We have schools everywhere, so we need to like promote volunteerism across the world, across the kids before we talk about the youth. For our programs, actually, it's all through the website, directioncsr.com. I have written it in the comments. Unfortunately, nowadays, we don't have any open programs, which is the first time in our a platform to have it with non-programs. But inshallah, very soon, we will go back to normal. And we will have actual programs. Now, the only programs we have, they are virtual, and they are limited to the participants who already participated with us in previous programs. It might grow in the coming months. I'm not really sure about it, but for the exchange programs, the actual ones, inshallah, it will come back once the borders are open and the situation is better.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shadi. Another question from Mr. Shafiq Hakimi from Afghanistan, saying, my question is about sustainable volunteering after COVID-19, how its effect on sustainable volunteering in our global and SDGs 2030. Also, you have a question from Noor Latrash from Tunisia. How can I organize my life, my time, my work, my study, and volunteering? Another question, just a second, from Miriam from Oman again, saying, I'm a cultural exchange enthusiast, and your presentation is encouraging me to get involved with cultures even more. What's the best way of collecting youth individually? I mean, I think she means how can they get involved? Let me get one more question. Lots of thanks for you, Dr. Sadi. People are really thanking you so much. Brahim Ismail Hijuja from Algeria said, since you start volunteering in an early age, would you recommend others to engage in early age as well? Learn more about volunteerism through experience, or they know first before they get engaged? So those are the questions I have for you right now. Dr. Shadi, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I can inshallah answer them all, but please, if I miss
some of them are repeated, some of them are repeated, but I know they wanted a special answer to their questions, so we are giving them the time also. Please go ahead.
Sure. Noor asked a very big question, like how to organize the time, effort, and volunteering. It's about setting priorities. If you have your priorities right, you're gonna do everything else right, because it's all about priorities, the weight of every task that I think is important to me. Is it more important to me is to have lunch with my dad and mom, or to read a book? For me, to have lunch with my dad and mom, this is my priority. But maybe for you, it's something else, something different. This is right and this is right, but we know our priorities. So when you know your priorities, I think everything will be, I'll not say easy, but it will be organized accordingly, because again and again, we focus on what we want, what we think is important in our life. I think we get a question about the culture. Cultural exchange is very important because it's about respect. When we know what's happening, when we know the background, when we know why Dr. Fadila is thinking that way and Shadi is thinking in the other way, we will understand like the big horizon of life. So getting engaged to different cultures gradually and to see different activities in volunteering world or in professional world. And actually, if you allow me, Dr. Fadila, yani when we say professional and volunteering, it looks like volunteering is not professional.
No.
So, but we usually use volunteering for a paid job. Sorry, we use a professional for a paid job, but volunteering should be professional. So it is also important actually to see the models. You can make a cake at your kitchen, and it will take you time till you do it well. It will cost you a lot till you do it well, and you can go and buy it and buy the exact piece that you want and enjoy it. But if you are in a business, or if you are in a model that you want to do cake every day, yes, we're gonna tell you, please do it in your kitchen. But if you wanna buy cake every day, we'll tell you, no, you buy it once. So this is something very important. If you think culture is a key element that you want to learn about, I don't think during the pandemic you're gonna have access to a lot of things except online. So it's your kitchen again. You can learn about all the factors or the different cultures that you want during this time, and you get ready to have opportunities after the pandemic. If you have access to traveling, for example, if that is suitable for you and possible for you after the pandemic, I think is important. Would love to have you in our programs. By the way, you're all more than welcome to join us in our programs once they are open, because I know, mashallah, tabarakallah, you're all value added, you're all active volunteers, and you're having a lot of ideas, I'm sure about that, and would love to learn from you all. So inshallah, we'll see you around once we are back to exchange programs. We get a question the first question, Dr. Fadila, if you remind me.
I have actually more questions. Some of them I'm getting from online, people who are following us online. So I wanted to give that little portion to the people who are already now following us live. Yes, I see that. I will take that later. But let me start with 3 quick questions that I already get from online. One question is, how does volunteering help us to create a culture of quality? Second question is, how does volunteering develop my confidence? Because lots of us, we don't want to go and approach and talk to the people like we are really able to be a volunteer in big programs, but we feel that we can. So how can we develop confidence to get into programs, and also during the volunteerism, how can we become more confident? And then the last one is, you spoke in your presentation about trainings, that you get a chance to get into trainings when you are a volunteer for many institutions. Could you please guide us on how to get into there? And the last question, I hope you are taking comments, or I will remind you one by one. Last one, that is from Dania, from Hudayb, from Jordan. She said, I have a small educational project which I need lots of time with no income, but I like it. Now people say, why don't you just make a resource of your income? But I really don't have this mindset. I don't have this mindset. Should I change it, or I maintain it for it's sustainable? So this is another question. Like those young people who have initiatives, but they need income, and their initiatives is not generating any income right now. So they feel like they're really in need to make a decision. And I'm sure you have valuable experience to share with them. So those are my last questions for you. And just we will wrap the session. Please go ahead, and the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to make sure that I didn't miss to answer any one of the previous questions. If there is anything missing, I'm there to answer, or you can also connect with me after the session. I'll be more than happy to answer any question. The culture of quality. This is like a lot of factors. It starts from us. It starts from the organizations that we volunteer with. It starts also with the projects and the specification of every project. Quality is something that we can learn and we can develop over time. The measures, when we have measures, not only for the impact, even for the work itself, like how we are doing things, are we doing it in a proper way or not, and the impact, the results, the outputs. When you have like analysis for the work and measures for the impact and outputs, that will lead you to create more quality value by the end, because every time you see yourself doing something not in a proper way or not right, you're going to go back again to assess your work and to see how you can do it well. Quality is a big issue, especially in our region, because we think of ajr, which is perfect, which is excellent. And we think the more we do, the more ajr we do. Yet, إن الله جميل يحب الجمال, for example. إن الله يحب المحسنين. Usually, yes, you want ajr, but you will get more ajr when you do things right. The number of
إن
activities
الله يحب إذا عمل أحدكم عملا أن يتقنه.
الإتقان, which is
yes.
which is a very sophisticated explanation of quality. Al-Itqan is like the highest level where we hope we can reach to in our activities. So all these issues are important, but it's not the numbers. It's not how many times, how many projects, how many initiatives. One initiative is more than enough. Do it right, do it well. It will grow, it will enhance other people, it will be international, it will bring you a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of resources, and they will start another project from this great initiative with Al-Itqan, as Dr. Fadila said. So this is a key element. Confidence, especially in talking with people and developing connections with others. It starts small, it grows over time. I don't think we have to all start in such works where we need to connect with others. It will come like step by step. I will do what I'm good at, you will do what you are good at. We will cross somewhere. You will not like me, which is perfect, which is fine. I will like you, which is also fine. I will do something nice, you will like it. You will start to like break the ice. We will start to talk. I will not like my supervisor. He will not. He doesn't like me. I will do some work with the peers. I'll come with different ideas. The idea will talk about what we have done. The output will be clear to everybody. He will come. I will come. We will be together. It is challenging. It is not easy, but it is working. We are having beautiful projects all over the world by volunteers. So my short answer to you, it has to be step by step. Don't be fast. It will take time. Then we talked about, or you asked about training and development. Yeah, what I meant, some of the key organizations or all the key and international organizations, they do have their own programs. So when they engage you in a project, they develop you. So they have these courses. But if you're talking about training programs or sustainable development programs that you want to like learn and train yourself, I suggest a lot of programs. I think somebody from our participants today wrote the website of the UN Summer Academy. I think this is a great place where you can gain knowledge. And also they have their online platform for different knowledge areas. Volunteering is one of them because it is social development and the SDGs. So I suggest you try that platform. And at the same time, the guest speakers who were involved in this initiative by ICYF, big names, big organizations, I think they have shared great knowledge. I was watching some of the videos in the YouTube. I have learned a lot. Such issues or such programs are important. Today we have access to online training programs that are excellent because you are getting it from the experts and they're talking about real issues. So also this is to be really considered. Training program doesn't mean I'm in the classroom wearing my suit and somebody else is explaining and I'm raising my hand to ask a question and it's theory, it's a theoretical question and theoretical answer. I think today we're having access to training all over. The last question was it about resources?
Yes, she has a project, she doesn't have resources. Should she continue because she doesn't have resources, or she just have to look about the income? Or
if you believe in your project, please continue. Don't stop. It is difficult. Yes, I understand. Today, sometimes we don't have the money to invest in our projects, and we're having life issues, and we need to pay for our rent and electricity and water. But our project is important as our baby. It is very important. If you believe in it, try to reach to a level where you create an impact. If you reach to that level, resources will come to you. Again, I will not say it is easy, but when people see and feel the impact, they react in a different way to your project. When you create this impact in a small environment, you get small access to resources. When you create it in a bigger environment, you get a better access to resources. We trust what we see. We don't trust the ideas. We don't trust what are in others' brains. But when we see actual results, which is very easy, I'll just explain it in one word. When the mom delivers a baby, how difficult it is. This delivery, when you see the baby, this is your project. This is the baby. If people see the baby, there is a baby. Resources will come from all over. But if there is no baby, there are no resources. The mother can't like take care of the baby unless it is there. So it is very difficult to have the baby. It's like 9 months of pain and then going to the doctor and. But the end result, you're having your project, the resources will come to you. Sorry for the explanation, but I just want to tell you how challenging and difficult it is. It's never easy, but it is happening. It is reality. We see projects today and they're growing.
Look, there is more questions coming. I don't know if I should keep reading the questions because I got some that I should be wrapping up the session. But let me take the last round of questions again, if Dr. Shadi, you don't mind. If you are tired, I will stop here. Can I take another round of questions? Okay, please. There is a question from Noor Latrash again. Just give me a second. Okay. Do you think, from Noor Latrash again, from Tunisia, she is very active with us today. Do you think that volunteering will become more during this period? Will volunteering have the same benefits during this pandemic or this period of time? And I am talking about online volunteers. Let me also ask the last questions that was planned to be asked for you, Dr. Shadi, today. What is the best thing you describe volunteerism for the people who are already in volunteerism, but they don't see how great it is for their life, for their future, to inspire them? And what is something that is realistic, very realistic, that they should keep in mind so they don't look for great experiences, something like they watch in the movie or something that they read in the story, something that can be really burden and pain, but in the end of the day, they will be learning life experience, as you just mentioned in your presentation. So with that, I would let you finalize your presentation and I will wrap up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, for Noor, online volunteering is important. I don't think we're gonna have this session unless we're having the pandemic. I don't think ICYF, I'm sorry to talk on your behalf. I don't think they're gonna organize.
You are one of us. You are one of us.
Oh, thank you very much. My pleasure. I don't think we're gonna have this kind of program today if we don't have the pandemic. ICYF are very active. They're doing a lot of programs in every country. They're having their hand. They know what's happening. They're perfect. But this special program that we are connecting today via Zoom, I didn't know Zoom before the pandemic. Like, what is Zoom? Zoom for me is like to make the photo, the picture bigger in my camera or smaller. But Zoom today is different. And yes, we are learning. We are getting there. We are updated because we are volunteering. Today is the first time for me to be a guest speaker and using Zoom. Usually I'm the moderator. Now I'm seeing myself in a different way. You are learning, everybody is learning. So at the end of the day, yes, I think it is very positive in terms of engaging and enhancing online volunteering. But if we're talking about volunteering in real world, not the virtual world, where virtual is real today, again, like different names. But if we're talking about volunteering by hands, going to support somebody and doing a project physically today, it is regulated, which is, I love it. It is regulated today. Today is not about, I'll tell you something very easy and normal here in my city. Like in Ramadan, like in all the Islamic world, you do this breakfast, you bring your dates and you give the poor people and you do this and that. You can't do it today. We used to do it before, but was it right? Yes, it was right. Did we do it right? What do you mean? Like, did you take all the consideration of safety of the food? Does the food like came from the farm, cleaned and went to the mosque for the breakfast? Or it was like under the sun for 10 hours? Was it cleaned right? Like today we can think about a lot of things. So I think the volunteering world is getting benefits in a very good way today by the crisis we are passing through. It is regulated, which is, I think, is very important. We're talking about recipes for the volunteers to be motivated and to find the real values and to find yourself. If you are volunteering today and you're not seeing an impact, you're in the wrong place. I will not say stop volunteering and go to a paid job. Do your paid job, go to your school, do your part-time, read your books, but select the area where you are volunteering in a better way. Like you have to be in a place where you are comfortable in terms of the environment, not comfortable in terms of the work, comfortable in terms of the environment, of the peers, of the system, if there is a system. If there is no system, to be part of creating a system in the coming 6 months. Again, it's not about today and tomorrow, and we have an idea and tomorrow we want an impact. It doesn't go like this. So first of all, you have to be comfortable in terms of the environment. Second, you have to be willing to learn and to explore different stuff. You have to accept others. In volunteering, it's very important. In life, it's important, but in volunteering, it is very important to accept everybody, because everybody is coming for the same thing. They don't seek any personal. We talked about the unexpected benefits, but that benefits are built in us. We don't work to get an award. We don't work to say that we have work. We don't work to say like this project is better than project because this person is. We don't do that. But we work because we believe in the value we are creating. We are believing in the cause we are working for. So everybody else is coming from the same thing. We need to respect each other. We need to fill in the gaps. If I don't have the skill and you have it, I can learn from you. You can teach me. I don't think there is age issue in volunteering. If we are regulated, if we have like a basic system, not to have like kids, for example, volunteering and unsafe activities in terms of using knife or scissor or cutting stuff to package some products or making this stuff. I think we're fine. Keep doing this. Try different projects. Never stop volunteering. If there is an issue with the project, it will be solved in a second or a third or a fourth project. But there is no issue with volunteering itself. Volunteering is a good thing for you. We agreed that we're not talking a lot about community, but we're talking about you. Volunteering for you is a change-making mechanism. It takes you from A to Z, let's say, and 10% of the time that it takes another person from your environment from A to Z. It's the same journey in terms of duration. If he spent 10 years, you spend 1 year, and you are all with the same horizon of seeing things when you work by hand and you give to society. It is challenging, and again, we didn't focus on the challenges today, but volunteering is not easy. Volunteering, if it is easy, the return will be easy, but the return is building life, is saving life, is creating new life. So don't think it's easy. It's never easy, but it's not difficult. It is challenging, and we have to learn how to pass through the challenges. And we are there. If we are here today, the people who are asking questions, who are participating, who are connected today to this session, we are all there. We didn't put this time. You have a lot of things to do. You have things to enjoy. We are here because we believe in volunteering. It will make us better every day. It will never stop making us better unless we stop volunteering.
So by that, dear Dr. Shadi, I would like to read a few comments from the audience. They are really extending their thankfulness for your great session. Asma Ahmed from Egypt, Lubna from Lebanon, Siti Nadira from Malaysia, and others are all being thankful for your session, being thankful for ICYF for all this great program. On my behalf, on behalf of my team ICYF and the president of ICYF, I would like to extend thankfulness for your great presentation. And we would like to think that this is just our first thing together, and we will continue to work together as volunteers, all of us as volunteers and people of cause, and all those participants are already part of this ICYF network of volunteerism. And we really appreciate your attendance, your presentation, and we appreciate our audience for their great questions. Lots of thanks are coming up, and I am also thanking you for making my moderation easy. Thank you again, all my colleagues who are standing behind this great program. And inshallah, we will see you in our upcoming session. Thank you again, Dr. Shadi, and we will see you inshallah sometime soon. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Alaykum assalam.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Terima kasih.